appreciate you taking the time to do this. So I got to ask, well, really the pandemic's fallout's been miserable, really, for so many. It's kind of allowed people to kind of take on tasks that they may have never been able to do. And after what you just did with the Wentworth galleries, I got to imagine that wasn't something necessarily at the forefront, but maybe it shaped up because of the pandemic.
I think so. I actually started to find painting even more therapeutic during the pandemic. We moved in like March of last year, and then everything shut down, so we were kind of just paralyzed. It was very hard. But then we started looking at our industry, the music industry. And we saw how much suffering there was. It was terrible, really, the ripple effect that went out into our industry. So my wife came up with this idea for the Big Love benefit concert, and I remember calling Tommy Shore and Billy Idol and Matt Sorum and all these other wonderful people, and they all agreed to help us out. And we ended up creating quite a bit of money for an organization called Sweet Relief that help industry professionals. So that kind of gave us a focus. And then, we just really, I just threw myself into the artwork and into the music. Fortunately, I've got a music studio here. So, we're a pretty musical family. So we were able to stay productive and stay focused,
How great was it though, too? I mean, really a different world for you in essence, where you got to do these paintings and raise funds, and it's away from the drum kit and obviously meet all those loyal fans.
Oh man, I've fans. I mean, that was proved to me, when we got inducted into the Hall of Fame. The largest fan vote in the history of the Hall of Fame, which, that says a lot. And, we always felt as though we didn't necessarily get enough love from the industry itself. But our fans already knew. They've always been so loyal. But on that particular night, I felt as though everything came all at once, standing on that stage and seeing the industry, pay respect to us was fantastic, and it ended up being a really big deal. So yeah, good things come.
And as we continue to have kind of a delay back to normalcy, can we see maybe a return to like an art tour with you again?
Yeah, I mean, I just did the one a few weeks back in southern Florida. That was Las Olas, and then out at the Hard Rock Hotel, out in Hollywood, Florida. That hotel's incredible. And then Boca Raton. And it was cool. That was the first in-person shows that I've done since March of last year. And people were really into it. It was really nice to see people come out, and people were very respectful. It's a bit of a culture shock, being in Florida, everybody was like, I think you guys opened up faster than anybody else. So
much, yeah.
Yeah. So, but it's getting there. And most people that I speak to these days, they're vaccinated, and hopefully that will keep on this sort of trajectory of, getting back to some sort of normal. So, but I really did enjoy being in amongst the people. It was great. It was such a novelty after not doing it for so long,
And I know so many people, including myself, were disheartened when the massive stadium tour, Motley Crue, Poison, Joan Jett, and yourself was canceled, but not really canceled, but in essence postponed. How does it feel to know that we didn't lose that tour? It's just delayed a little bit longer. I know we're all excited.
I'm just blown away by the fact that or how few refunds people ask for. I guess people are just, you know, they're just waiting in the wings and they're just ready to go when, you know, when it all comes back. But I understand why Live Nation or any promoter that promotes large gatherings would be cautious. You know, I think they wanted to do a tour that was consistent throughout the entire country, instead of sort of patchwork, you know, where, you know, there's maybe one state, you know, only allow a certain capacity or whatever. I think we just, I think Live Nation just wanted to wait until we could do it properly. And I think people's safety was the primary focus.
But was there ever a worry? I mean, obviously in the early time going to this, that maybe this isn't going to come back together, or the relationships you have with all those bands and tour managers and whatnot, this was always still going to happen, right?
Yeah, I think there was too much at stake. And, you know, putting the thing together initially was a pretty big task. And we know all these people. We've toured with all these bands over the years. We just never put it all together, you know. The idea that 4 bands can go out like that, and you know, basically people are sitting there listening to hit songs all night, that's a huge treat.
And you've obviously, it's been talked about, it's been written about, you've achieved so much in your life, conquering adversity. But I gotta imagine one of your biggest feats is really the work you do with the Raven Drum Foundation and some of the other charitable work. What's it like really knowing that not only do you have this platform, but you're really able to go and help others?
Well, back in 2006, I visited Walter Reed Army Medical Center, and I saw tremendous suffering with our wounded warriors. But I also saw hope, and the fact that they all felt like they knew me, it just makes me feel really good. And not too many people know this, but I suffer from PTSD myself. It's not combat related, but extreme trauma all the same. And I saw some of the same triggers, some of the same personality traits. And I remember getting back to the hotel that late afternoon, and I called my wife up. I said, you know, we've got to refocus. So then we started Project Resiliency, which is really focused on, you know, the well-being of our veterans. And quite honestly, it's the least I can do, because I know how terrible it is to suffer with this. But it's not a life sentence. You know, there are ways that we can help. There are ways that we can cope. And some of the alternative sort of methods of healing that we endorse go a long way. They really help a lot of our you know, warriors. So we're just blessed to be able to do that.
Yeah, it's real important to have that right support. I was actually in a near fatal car accident myself. So just seeing that there's people out there that are there to support you makes all the world a difference. Nobody can essentially do everything on their own merit.
Well, you know, it's difficult. It's difficult to put yourself in somebody else's shoes if you've never been through the experience. So, you know, and trying to explain it to somebody else, it's equally as difficult. So, you know, the fact that there are people like myself, like my wife, that see the need and are willing to help. And it doesn't take much. It doesn't take much for us to, you know, to do that. And it's a two-way street. You know, I feel as though I get the benefits also, because everybody's got different tools in their toolboxes. And there are so many different ways of coping. And, you know, to be able to share all those ideas and you know, come up on top and see people really flourish. People really, you know, succeed, creating mentors. You know, it's a good deal, you know, and I'm just happy to be a part of it.
And well, we've kind of had like a kind of a string of biopic movies with Queens by Bohemian Rhapsody, Straight Outta Compton. I I know that you guys have done the Def Leppard story Hysteria before, but could you see that maybe becoming an even bigger production going theater wide? Because you guys really do have a tremendous story to tell.
I could see it going more in depth and having more of a hand in shaping, you know, how the movie ended up. And I mean, I thought Bohemian Rhapsody was fantastic. And you know, Joe, a singer, he said, oh, you've got to see it in the movie theater. And for whatever reason, I never got to see it in the movie theater. And then I was traveling on a plane. I thought, you know what, I haven't seen it. I should just, you know, I should just watch it. And it was very emotional for me. I really got it. And I think our story could be brought in a very similar sort of way, where it's more true to life, and you know, really pick characters or actors that can really convey that. So I really got that from the Bohemian Rhapsody. I was so convinced. You know, the actors were just fantastic. It was, you know, and I know Brian, so you know, I kind of get a sense that it was really pretty true to form. It was really quite factual, you know.
Beyond those that have already acted in those roles in that biopic, who do you think would be the perfect ones to play your characters? Play yourself, the band, manager, any of that?
I mean, I think of a bunch of people. I mean, I'd love to do it myself, but you know, not
It's
much of
Hollywood.
not much of an actor.
But no, nobody stands out. Is Tom Cruise going to be behind the drums?
Oh, wouldn't that be fantastic?
So beyond this tour coming up, I mean, given it's a long way away, are we gonna see other like smaller projects come about? Have you guys been writing? I mean, it took like 7 years between albums. We're about to hit that 7 year plateau again. Is there
No,
another
I
album maybe on the horizon?
well, there's always new music on the go, and I'm happy to say that, you know, people will be listening to new music in the not too distant future. And then, you know, from my personal standpoint, you know, I'm always doing work with my wife. More
She's
recently,
got an album too coming, right?
yeah, Under the Wolf Moon, and yeah, she's super talented, and you know, she's got a nice team of people working around her. Jim Scott, Steve Ferroni, he played on the record, which was fantastic. I was a bit jealous, to be honest, but it was great. I got to play on the record too, so yeah, she's doing really good, and I encourage people to go and listen to that. I think Lauren Monroe Music on YouTube and laurenmonroe.com. You know, they can find out what she's doing. And then more recently, I did a project with DJ Ravi Drums in Tampa, and that's kind of like electronic dance music meets, you know, rock music and pop music mashups. So it's like a DJ experience, but with live drums, and that was actually really exciting. Hopefully, we can do it again. I think there's some more shows coming up, but I can't really announce those yet because they're not confirmed, you know. So, but that would be fun. I'd love to get out there and do that until I can get out on the road with Def Leppard at least.
And anything else you'd like to say to fans out there, and really anybody, because I mean, obviously you're working Def Leppard, you've been an inspiration with really everything that you've come through in life.
I just, you know, people are very respectful when they meet me, and you know, I'm just really appreciative that I get that kind of support from people. And you know, I mean, it's a huge blessing to be doing what I'm doing in the first place. But then, you know, the fans just kind of make it. You know, it's one thing playing these songs in a rehearsal room, but then when you get these things in front of an audience, they take on a completely different personality. So, you know, it's a gift. You know, so I'm looking forward to continuing that and getting to meet more people. You know.